Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X as I often do around this time on the weekends. 2D 4X is an open source 2D 4X video game that I'm working on. I am creating with Godot.Net and C#. This is the C# version. What we're looking at right now is each county can have improvements, and we've been working on this for a couple weekends. And this is the research office where the place for books and reading. All right. And what we're doing with that is we've been slowly chipping away at this. There's some stuff I'm waiting for Godot 4.4 Dev 3 to come out. It came out, or Dev 2 came out. It had a bug that I made what I want to do useless, but it has a feature that I want for these parts here, goods produced and input resource goods. That's why these look like this. So we're doing other things because we have plenty of other things we can do while we're waiting for that. But right now, one of the things on my list, so I have a GitHub, and on GitHub, the next thing on the list is this research improvement. I forgot to put a space in here for when you have a research office, it doesn't produce goods. It's not like producing steel or some shit. It's producing, sorry, I'm double checking this thing because all right, it says it's working. All right, my little chat thing. I have a chat thing so I can see chat on YouTube and I can see chat on Twitch at the same time. It's called something. Social Stream Ninja, that's what it's called. So I was looking at this right before I started, and I got to the, I ran a day of the game to produce a research office. It looks like what we could do is see where it says goods produced and we have steel and all this shit. If I move this to my other window, or actually we can just minimize it. We can actually just hide this grid, and I don't think it's going to show up. Yeah, so see, now it's just an empty thing. And what we could do is we could just put in a label here, because what I want to show is that you're actually researching something. So right now in the game, I have assigned Deborah Williams to research primitive scouting equipment. So I want her to show up in this county improvement when you're looking, so you can see that something's being produced there. Oh, this reopened because I have that in there to tell it to open to show. But so I'm thinking we hide this. If it's a research thing, I thought of the ways what we could show, but I didn't think of how we're going to tell if it's research. We could have a bool in there that it doesn't produce goods. It produces something else. Because we're probably going to run into this in other things too, where it's so a warehouse doesn't produce goods, it produces space. So that's actually a good thing on here. So this county improvement, we have 2 items. Man, it's kind of hard to tell when these things, one ends and the next one starts. It's kind of crappy to look at. We'll figure it out eventually to make it look better. But right now it's just in its... I thought the goods produced got weird here, but they did not. We'll figure this out as we're gonna have a beautification period where we go through and we make all the UI look good. Right now, we're just making it usable. So, how are we gonna know? So, a warehouse also does not produce goods; it just gives you extra space, which I can't even remember if we put that in there or not. It doesn't require any workers either, because if it required workers, it's a huge pain in the ass. So we can't pull it from the workers. We have to have some other thing, some other way that it knows that it doesn't produce. So we're going to leave the goods produced in there, this title right here. Goods produced will still be there, but it will say, gives you 10 space or whatever but so that's the thing, is I wanted to say what you're researching for this part. So I want it to say that it gives you that Deborah Williams is researching whatever, which that actually isn't that hard to do. But when we have the other, like if we say, okay, so this is the way we do it. I just thought of a way we can do this. Okay, let's go back to our things here. This is a problem though. Okay, that's not going to work. We need this for this other thing. This is the thing we're waiting for 4.4 Dev 3, and I hope that they put it in Dev 3. Sometimes their development is not as linear as you would expect. It's more like it's all over the place. So I was going to say, if we just have nothing in here, we could tell that it needs... it's producing something else, and that's would work with most things. I'm trying to think. God damn it, I knew it. I turned up my music. You guys can't hear my music. I turned up my music before because I was like, man, my music is so low, but it was just that one song. Okay, so this is the input resources. Oh, this is gonna go away. Input resources, I'm pretty sure, is going to go away. We're going to have these. These are actually construction costs. No, input resources will stay here. So if this is null, it's just an array. What is this? I don't believe that that's correct. I think we're going to have to change that. Let's look at our county improvement data. Input resources is just an array of county resource type. Wait, that's not going to work. This is going to have to, if it needs 2 or more resources for input, we need to know the type and the amount. So there's the problem. So we need to know the amount. So this array will, I don't know why it's a capital A. This array will become a dictionary. We could do that right now, but it's kind of pointless because we can't do the next thing. We're going to have to do a lot of changes to that, but that's not our current thing. So we can't figure it out that way. So we could have a bool in there that says like it produces something else. But then how would we know what to put in this goods produced area? So the goods produce. So what we're gonna do? Let's do this. There's the 2 different things. The warehouse is like gonna produce. We're gonna have to do something with the localization. I have a feeling, which is good because I need to learn how to do this anyways. And I talked about it briefly, and then I said, "Fuck it, I don't want to learn that right now." In another stream. So I think what we're gonna do. How are we gonna do this? So what we would do is we would have. So in this county import or county improvement data, what we're going to do is we're going to have a string that will be the replacement. So we would say if, well, let's put this string in here somewhere, and we'll do a test string first, and then we'll run it. We want, this is construction. I want it to be where the production stuff is. I try to keep everything in kind of a certain order to make it easier to find later. Adjust number when it's not down here. Population, status, daily resource. So I think, what is this? County resource type, faction resource type, max builders, input resources. Where do we have it? So we don't really have a production area yet. We haven't like of what it produces. We have this daily resource generation and daily resource gain. That's going to be changed dramatically up here. And we have input resources. That's going to be changed. So let's put it right here. We're going to do export public string, and it's going to be called something. Non-tangible good. Non-tangible, tangible, tangible, tangible. That's not how you spell that. Non-tangible good. Uh, did I spell this right? No. That's expected. Non-tangible good produced. Then let's put this, and then let's put a note what this is, because I'm not going to remember what the fuck I'm talking about here. If the improvements, I always forget that E. Improvement, if the improvement doesn't produce a good, but let's put this up here. I wonder if I can put a summary on, whoops, I guess that was right. I wonder if I can do a summary here. I can. I wonder what it does. We'll find out. If the if the improvement doesn't produce a good, but instead produces something like research or warehouse space, this string says what that is. If it is null, then the normal production chart. What is this thing? It's not a chart. It's a, what is this thing? Grid container is shown. Grid container is shown. All right. So let's build this thing. And breathe, heavy breathe for some reason. A heavy sigh. All right, so then we'll have this. Non-tangible good produced. Yes. And then we can put in here. So this is my question, though. Let's say is how I do this. So my question is how do I assign? We could always have it at the end, I suppose. But if there isn't anything in the, so what I'm talking about is like we need, let's say we assign that string. I want to be able to type it in here. You know, like type in whatever here, but then let's say we want a variable in there, because so the way we're going to do the science is we're going to get it from the person and what their name. So we'll put whatever Deborah Williams. So we're going to have their first and last name, which is a variable, which is two variables. And then we're also going to have what they're researching, because that's assigned to the person that's in the building. So we'll get from the list. So in this list, there's a person working here, and they are working, the first person, which is the only person in here, is working on, we'll get it from the county improvement, who's working there. But like the warehouse isn't going to have anyone working there, so the warehouse is just going to have a list. So we can actually, let's put that on the warehouse. Let's just fill this in. This generating extra, I don't remember if we actually have anywhere that this, we know how much extra research this, or not research, storage this thing's giving. I don't even know if it's giving any. I don't think I did anything with it. I feel like I didn't. I was like, oh, we'll do this later. But then I also remember fucking around with storage. Wonder where that would be. Let's look under resource storage. So that's going to be over here, or resources. Man, did you see that lag? So under, and resources does have like a minor bug on it that the storage interface that I just gave up on for now because we're going to be fucking with it so much that I have a feeling that it will fix itself over time. County improvement control. No, that's not what we want. We want county info panel. Select hero resource panel container is what we want here. And this is going to be like at what point? Maybe we never applied where the you know what it would check, because it would have to check every day because there's no worker there. It would check every day to see if the warehouse is there or not. I don't think we did. I don't think we did anything with that. I think I kicked it down the road. Check for any work. Yeah, we just have all this work stuff. So start day. Well, maybe it'd be an end of day. Decide building county improvements. Subtract county resources. Copy county. I vaguely am remembering doing something with this. Update resource labels. That's not it. I don't think we have. So in here, we're going to need a thing that applies more storage. So once you build the warehouse, unless it gets like burned down or something, it's going to give you additional storage. So it's going to be something that we need to check. And then we also need to have it check, but have a way for it to know that that's what it's doing. A warehouse is going to be kind of a pain in the ass. Then maybe that's why I kicked it down the road. Let's look at my project here and put in warehouse and see if I can find anything. I see a big pile of nothing. We fixed this. Oh, it's closed already. This is the one problem. This thing on GitHub starts to grind to a halt if you have too many things over here. So I have archive them, and then you can't, when you search, you can't find them in the archive. But it doesn't look like we did anything. All right, so let's do this. We need to make it so that the warehouse actually does something. So we're going to have to put this in our list here too, and we might as well put it next since after this research thing, since this is what we're working on. And we'll convert this to an issue. Okay, so that's going to be in here. In the county level, we're going to have subtract county resources, copy county resources, check for healing, decide building improvements, workday over. Is this in the right spot? What does this do? So this is for the AI. Check if the county has enough food. If not, build a food building. Shouldn't this be at the beginning of the day? This is end of day. Workday over. I'm not going to fuck with this, but shouldn't this be at the beginning of the day? And then right before this, we'll put in buildings that don't require workers should be here, such as the warehouse. Yeah, we'll put that first. So this is where we'll put the warehouse thing, but we don't need to do that right now. But back to our warehouse, and because then we'll decide too how many goods are produced at the warehouse. We're gonna really, this one thing holding us up is kind of a pain because there's other things I want to change, but I'm not sure how I want to change them yet. You know, like I don't know if a dictionary is gonna 100% work, so I don't want to keep fucking with it. Something that's that's, you know, I don't want to put in something that I'm going to have to change later. So I'm leaving like this half finished code until and well, I don't even know if Godot 4.4 Dev 3 will fix the issue. They said that it's already been fixed. But I've noticed I'm waiting for some 3D hex thing to come in that's been in like waiting for testing for ages now. It's the problem with community driven development is, you know, don't know, some people, you know, certain things get priority over others and you don't really understand why because you're not part of the inner workings of the thing. And it's also up to, you know, some random dude to do it. It's like mods. It's like waiting for mods to get improved. Anyways. So the warehouse, let's put in here in this generating extra storage, period. So we have that in that, but then in the research office, which is our other thing, we need to have a sentence in here, but we also need to have, we'll put in here, so-and-so is researching whatever. So that we'll leave this in here, but we're going to have it, we're going to have to do it differently. But I think we can do it with our translation thing. I'm pretty sure. And someone in chat actually said, oh, in C# you do it different. And so we'll have to look at how C# does it. I think it's similar to how I do it with the clock. So this clock up here, well, wherever the fuck it is, right here is getting the numbers from a variable. So I think we do it that way. But what I want to have is the same, we have to have the same string, the same way of getting variables and whatnot for every sentence that's in there. So we got to make sure that, like, do we get a bug if there's no place for those variables at the end? I don't know. We're going to have to just test this very thoroughly. But we have two things in there now. So let's get the basic shit going, and then we'll come around for the other thing. So this is the grid output is going to be what goes away, and we're going to replace it with a label. So let's add a label. I see this label. I think this actually might work if we duplicate this label. Move this up here. Rename this to non-tangible goods produced. Non-tangible goods produced title label. And then this is not going to have this, though. We're going to actually need the, well, I guess we should just do that now. Because we're going to be fucking with this sentence here. This string. It's not a sentence, it's a string. This string here, we shall be fucking with it. 2D4X. Localization. We got part of this. And I got rid of the title thing. I remember that last time. Oh, come on, man. Thank you. So this is going to be phrase. It's going to be weird, though. We can't do it with this. How are we going to do this? So if each, no, we can do it, and it can be different. Oh my God, how did I do it with our, like, abilities and stuff? Like our research description. No, let's say our attributes. County resource. Here we go. Improvement description. Converted. Does that sound like converted? That seems like that's spelled wrong, but I guess it isn't. So what we're going to have to do is improvements, non-tangible production. What is this one? Warehouse. And then we'll copy this. And we'll do this. And we'll say research office. And then in here, I typed in that stuff in the other thing, but it doesn't actually matter. Extra storage. Some number. We need a number in here. And then over here, I'm going to say first name, last name, research. Okay, so that research, well, we should say research name. We're going to fuck around. We're going to do this differently. All right, not differently. We're going to do this right. We're going to do something at some point. We need to go back to here, though. And we need to put in, this needs to go into here. And then we're going to go to converted warehouse. And this needs to go into here. And then, Joker, how's it going? Normally that's a bad normally that's a bad statement, but no, in this particular case it is the statement. We are going to find out good things, hopefully. We're going to find out how to do new things. Yeah, so each one of these will be able to pull its own thing and we'll fill it in. So we need to go back then over to this script and add another thing in here. And here, not here, in here. And it's going to go under, you know, I guess it's one of those things. You don't do it like 10 of them in a row. Just like sit down on a weekend and just knock out like 10 tutorials and then schedule them all out and then, you know, wait for a while and then do like 10 more and schedule them all out. That would be the way to do it. You'd have to have ideas for every tutorial though. I think we put output. Oh wait, we did. This was in the right spot. A month at a time. Plus output panel. These aren't panels though. This is, oh, you know why? Because I don't have that in here. Output panel packed scene. Am I looking in the right place? Remove improvement button. I am looking in the right place. Just dot on me. Removing improvements isn't going to be an instantaneous thing. They got to take them apart. Workers got to unconstruct them. Deconstruct them. Construction panel container. Construction material cost label package. Remnant. Let's go back over to this thing and look where. So input title, input grid. This seems very short. I feel like this isn't enough, but I see the things we got here. Input. Packed scene. What the fuck am I doing with that? Like, look at all these things. It doesn't seem like that's enough variables. Input packed scene. What is this? It's going to be way down here. Input panel Okay, it's just this little thing. Okay, this is in prepper. It's pack stuff. You know, I was looking. It was that tutorial for I don't know, navigation server stuff, and it was you were talking about a packed array, and I was like, what the fuck is a packed array? And then in the C sharp thing, it's just an array, and I was just like, why is it packed though? And I just imagine it like just being like zipped up, you know, but by like a human, like whoop whoop. Folding clothes, but it's an array of something, a vector too, so it's just a bunch of numbers and like um yeah, it's just a something. All right, so I think this thing input panel. Okay, so I just have a bunch of these sitting in here that are not input container panel. They aren't. It's this. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on here. So input title. We can put this right above here though. We can make it work. Output. We'll put it right here. Export. Public. String. No, it's not a string. I mean, a string's going in there. Label. Non-tangible. Production. Label. Then we'll go back over to here. We'll build this thing. We'll put it in here. And do we have anything in here as a test? This is a test. If you see this, then something is wrong. Okay, or right. All right, so that is what we want. We don't want these both up and open at the same time though. This one should be off by default, but we'll double check that. This goes down to here. And what's going on over here? Oh, it's just the standard 5, except I have an extra 2. The standard 5. I'm surprised I don't have this. Steal amount, use resources. This is input goods. Oh, it has like a different. I guess we'll deal with that later. That's still waiting for Godot. 4.4 Dev 3 will be these parts, but all right. So how are we gonna do this? We have this this switch, which actually, so for this, in this particular case, it doesn't matter what status it is. So the status doesn't matter in under construction, whatever. It's always going to show. Oh man, we need another thing. Maybe we can do that. We can do it with code actually. It's going to be a pain, but we can. I think it's not going to be a pain. It's going to be an if then statement. Update improvement label. Update. Where's this shit running? I got to remember how this all works. It's been a week. I see a lot of things. Okay, update adjusted numbers, construct button. Okay, so this goes to update improvement labels, and then update improvement labels, we do the construction status. We should probably turn this thing into a method so it's pretty. This is texture, name, and description. update. Whoops. What would that be called? All in one word. Name, description, and texture. Information labels. That's going to be confusing later, but then we'll cut this out of here. Put that there. And we can have a nice pretty thing here where it just goes down. And do we want to do this? No, we're going to have its own little method. Builder, number, labels, and workers. So it should be here. Updates, production. No, this is gonna be output goods. Okay, so we'll have update output goods, and we'll have this down here, and we'll have, so we got a couple of things going on here. If county improvement data non-tangible is not equal to null. So how we're handling this whole thing is we're just going to say like, hey, if this is null, then do the other thing, which we currently don't have an other thing. We need to put a variable in here for that though, the other thing. And it should be above this. This is some grid container or something. Container output grid container, and then we need to build this. I feel like we already have this somewhere, but I guess we don't. And you know what? It's going to be empty. Now that I think about it. So these things won't be there because they won't be generated. But you know what? We're going to still do it this way. Because what we're going to need to do, I call it outputs. Outputs. And then we got to do this again because now this is going to be, I changed the variable name. It took a second. I thought we had issues. Okay. All right. So we have that thing. So we can go back down to here. And if this is equal, let's do this. Outputs, grid container, show, else. We're going to need to fill it. Outputs, grid container, hide, non-tangible, show. But let's put something in here, and let's hide this up here just in case. I have learned my lesson. You know, ChatGPT does this all the time, and where, you know, I'm like, it's always going to be hidden already. Doesn't matter if it's empty, whatever. Like, you got to put the just in case things in there. ChatGPT is always putting like almost too much, I feel like. But in here, we're gonna go like non-tangible production. You got a star on there for some reason. .text is going to go county improvement data. Fuck you, county improvement data. Non-tangible goods produced. It's already a string. I don't know why it would want me to make it a string. Okay, so that's what we want this to do, and this is where this part is gonna get the sketchies. I don't know. I'm talking like I live on the internet. I do spend a lot of time on the internet. If the internet is if you know all things IT are pretty much internet these days, like video games and stuff. Though I don't play that many multiplayer video games. All right, so what the hell have we just done? we need to make sure that this import is working. Is our shit in English or Spanish right now? It's in English, so we're good. Because we don't have a translation. Because we got to fix some stuff here before. We got to re-import this, but we can't re-import that until... this is going to be... we're going to have to... This is going to be a pain. This is going to be difficult. I think I saved that thing. Does that look like a different icon than last time? But for now, we'll just test this thing. And how to test that is we need to build... Actually, we don't need to build anything. We can just look right here. Warehouse, Fisher's Shed, Garden, Lumberjack, Research Station. This did not work. So this goods produced should have turned off. Should have hidden this grid and produced the other thing. So what has happened here? If this is equal to null, output grid container show hide. What do we have over here? Yeah. To make sure. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Okay. Is equal to null. So I did update these. Two of these should not. The two of these should have stuff in them. The converted warehouse has improvement whatever in it. Maybe you can't equals null is equals. I bet you it's the null is the problem. I bet you we gotta do that. It's not null, it's just empty. By using our eyes, you know, your eyes are the worst thing to. I tell people because a lot of my coworkers like to just look through their emails for stuff with their eyeballs, and I'm always like, your eyes are terrible for that. Use the search function. Okay. This is the wrong thing, and they're all off. If non-tangible goods equals equal the output, so it's saying that these other ones, let's look at like Fisher's Shed. Oh, I have some. What is this? Did I type something in there? I don't remember typing anything in there. This one, the garden, had nothing. I must have just typed that other thing in there. Non-tangible goods. So, where the fuck are we here? Only one thing. I was thinking we can put something else in there. We can put like don't show or something in there, but that's not. If non-tangible goods produced equals equal to nothing. Maybe this is null, but then it would show the output thing and hide this. Let's run it one more time. Let's run it one more time and see what we're doing. I did not feel like programming at all today this morning, but I didn't have anything else to do, so. What was the, you know, my brain will get into it. Okay, so the equals two quotes is not working either. I'm doing something wrong here. This is a string. Are these not null? Well, that one isn't. Thor? Equals null? Are they not null? Are they Okay, so now they're all showing. So that doesn't make any sense to me. How do I test this? Update output goods. C# check if string is empty. I think it's something to do with it being in the inspector, though. Is null or empty? Okay. I don't know what that is. Add is empty. Is, I've never done this before. Is no, see, every day. What the fuck? What does this say? String. With a little string in front of it. Is null or empty or white space. Then we put this. You know, you really do learn something new every day. That's why I'm not a big fan of the old dogs can't learn new tricks statement. Because you're like constantly, I'm trying so hard never to learn anything new. And here I am every day learning something new. Is empty in Godot as well? I'm not talking about, yeah, GD script. I am talking about GD script. Still doesn't work. So why is this not, what is in here? GD prints. What does it think is in here? County improvements, non-tangible. And then we'll put this in here. And then we'll do this. We. That's I know that word in French. I guess I know 3 words in French. I was telling my coworker, they're like, "Oh, do you know some French?" I was like, "I know like 2 words, and one of them's a cuss word." And they're like, "What's the cuss word?" And I'm like, "We're working." I don't think I'm supposed to say it. Okay, what do we got here? Blank, 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 blank. Oh, you know what this is? So, in another stream, I was like, man, if I forget to do this, I'm going to get some crazy bug and it's just going to fuck me over. And here I am getting fucked over. We need to make this thing copy over here. I knew it. I knew that was going to be an issue. Who knows what other things I've forgotten. We need this to come over. It's going to go... Where did I put this other one? It is right above input resources, which I don't think were... You forget your own birthday? You should put an alarm on your phone. Just like, say that like you're just really old. Counting faction daily resource generation. We don't have everything being copied over. Which is strange. I guess we're going to fix that. Non-tangible. County improvement. Non-tangible produced. Whoops. I do this every time too. There's a time you woke up and it isn't clicked for like half a day. Really? I always, people also like start reminding. They say, "Hey, your birthday's coming up." Yeah, thanks. All right. Goods produced. Goods produced. Goods produced. Oh, here it is. First name, last name, research name. What about our warehouse? Where's our warehouse? We must not have researched the warehouse. So that's a problem. But this works. So there's that. And it's using the correct thing. So this is where it gets sucky. Sucky. All right, so this is what we're going to do. In the county improvement data, we're going to need to have a thing where it like figures out, it returns the string. Oh my God, how the fuck are we going to do this? So we need a thing so there's two things that can happen here. In the county, like you can click on this, you have your county research, whatever. Well, right here, there's no research being researched because this thing hasn't been fucking built yet. So we would want to put something that says like goods produced research points towards selected research or something like that. But then if it is being researched, we need to have what it really wants, what it's really, which is first name, last name, research name. But so that means we're going to have an if then that checks to fill in this goddamn thing every time it runs. But we don't want it to be in this thing because this is used all over the place. So we need this in the county improvement. And we need it to check, though, to see if the research, if it's in the county improvement, we need, basically it's going to be, so in the county improvement, we need to know ahead of time if this is the research county improvement for this particular thing. So then we need to have it say, like, if that thing is something, then this is generating this that equals that thing. Yes, that's how we can do it. I know I was very clear with that description. So if non-tangible goods produced equals this, then we make non-tangible goods produced equal this thing. Let's put it right in here. Public. Is it public? No, it's private. Void. That is not even close. Private void generates non-tangible research string. And then in here, fuck, I don't think we can do this. Can we do ready in a, what is this thing? This is a resource? We can do it. There might already be a ready in here somewhere. There is not. We could do, instead of on ready, we could do that on tree enter. I ran into another issue with ready the other day, and actually when I hovered over, they said like, this is probably going to cause you issues yesterday. Having it, if you have it in ready, it's probably going to cause you issues. So what we're going to do, well, let's put ready in here and see what happens. Public over, because I don't know if I can have it in a resource. Yeah, I don't think I can have it in a okay, I can't have ready in a resource. I thought I could. Public override ready. No. I thought that was one of the benefits. What about like on tree enter? What about when we instantiate it? Are we instantiating it? This thing changes all the time. So ready wouldn't do us any good anyways. This needs to be public then. And and it can't be static because we're going to be pulling shit out of here. So this isn't really all that complicated, but my brain's not warmed up yet, so it feels extremely complicated, but it's really not. So then we're going to go if non-tangible goods produced is equal to, we need this thing. Basically, stupid ass CSVs. We want this. If it's equal to this, you know what we could do is we could just say how are we gonna do this? Okay, so we go through. Man, getting this one string is a huge pain in the ass. You know, this is why, like, sometimes you're like, why the fuck isn't this information in the UI? And it turns out that it's because not in there because it's a huge pain in the ass. All right, so if we have this thing, we need to have something. No, we're gonna have a fucking switch in here. How are we gonna do this? All right, so we can have multiple different things. We can try to programmatically. We can try to do it with code, but I have a feeling. So if we try to do it with code, we're going to be going in and putting in this code that is more complicated than us just having multiple different strings saved in the county data. So we can have two strings, you know, like in production, non-tangible in production, and non-tangible out of production. And if we like, if this is like this, then we do that. Or we can have this switch that goes through that we would have to manually put in each new one of these things. So we'd have a switch that goes if if this thing equals this, then we do this special thing, and then if this equals that, then we do this special thing. I think what we're going to want to do is just have multiple strings. Sometimes also for me, it's easier to make it the simplest way first and then see it like done and go like, oh, okay, now that I have these like few things that work, I can rewrite it to be the better way. But I'm actually going to take a quick break and I have to go to the bathroom. So that is what is happening. Let me go over here. Let me turn off my music you guys can't hear, and let me throw out my break timer, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes, hopefully. Man, that was a long break. It didn't feel like a long break. I also did not, that it was not a very satisfactory bathroom visit. If you know what I mean. All right, what the fuck are we doing here? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have two things in here. We're gonna have another one of these. Public string, non-tangible goods, good, not being produced. And then we're going to have the same, we'll use the same label, but it may be either one of these two things. So then we'll go over here. These things are wrong anyways. Produced. And then we'll go over to here. You know, I can make this bigger. It just dawned on me. Oh, I guess I can't. There we go. So that you guys can see what the fuck I'm typing over here. Produced. And then we'll have, well, we can copy both of these actually. Copy both of these, put them here. And then we're going to say not produced. Not produced. And I think the way we're going to do this is we'll leave this blank. Now, well, let's put something in here. It could be the same thing. And then we'll put in here like is generating extra storage, some number, will generate extra. We'll just have them different for this. And this is going to be not produced. We'll do on here. We will say once researcher is assigned, it will generate research signed in research panel. It will generate. No, let's not put that. We'll do a tooltip. Generates research is what we'll say there. Okay, now we got that fucking thing going. Then we're going to go back to this fucking thing where everything's a fucking thing all of a sudden. So then back to this county improvement container. When this thing where's our update goods thing? Non-tangible produced output grid container. Okay, so we're going to need a bool in here. No, we're not. How do we figure this out? How does this work? All right, so with the research panel, this is why it gets complicated. Over here, we want it so it's under construction, right? So we know it's not producing anything, or it's not under construction. It's not anything yet. So we'll use the non one. So we'll put this. We'll say. This will be in the default. This will be in the default. That will get the default thing. Let's just do this as simple as possible, and then we can clean it up later. If this is empty, we'll take this out of here so it doesn't do it twice. If it's empty, it does this, and this is going to say, what did I call this thing? This other string? This will be, did I put this in here? I did put this in here. What the fuck did I call it? We're going to copy this over to here. Whoa. What the fuck? Why is nothing working? I must not have clicked this correctly. This will go to here. Whew. We'll cut that. So this will be... So this is in the construction thing, where we have this switch. So then if it's under construction, it's going to be the same thing. We'll put this thing in here. I'm trying to train myself with the double click, but it doesn't seem to be working very. Maybe I'm triple clicking. So under construction, it's going to be here. Because you can't have research there. Now if it's done, it's going to be here as well, but it needs to check to see if there's a person in there. So maybe we can put it in here. So if this is... But we don't have a person on a warehouse. The warehouse just does it. So that can't be the thing that checks. So how the fuck, man, this one thing I feel now for other indie developers. When we demand some simple UI thing and they say, and there may be other ones. So we got to make this so that it works for the possible, because there are going to be other things that generate things that are not, that are just like set items. But we don't have so a warehouse we don't have a person working for, and you don't need a person to work there. That was some decision I came up with a while ago. So it works, but there's no person working there. So like it generates the storage that you're getting, but there's no person there. Research, you have to have the thing's built, but you have to assign in an a person will get assigned there automatically. They'll work there, but you have to assign the research manually for it to kick in. And then we'll need to put a tooltip in here. When we'll do a tooltip too. I feel like we're gonna accomplish nothing today. That's what's gonna happen. This is gonna be a day of nothing accomplished because I'm just spinning my wheels here, going in circles. It happens sometimes. Like I was saying, I wasn't really feeling like programming, but generally that's like a normal thing on Saturdays, somewhat normal, where I'm like, eh. Okay. Did I copy the wrong thing and put it in here? I think I copied the wrong thing and put it in here. I put this here, and that's not supposed to happen. This just happens regardless. Okay. Update output goods. So let's try to get this. I think, like, I'm totally just spinning my wheels here. I should go and work on something else. I'm sure there's many other things I could be doing here. Many other things. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this again. Let's go through what we need to do. And let's just write it down, and it will just be, I keep saying this is 2. All right, so if that thing's null, then if we go to this, we make this default to that. But in reality, that's not what we want to do. We could put a bool that says, like, is a non-tangible good. So let's try to think of another thing. So there are going to be things that generate like influence. That is a resource though. But we don't have people there. Influence is a resource. It's a faction resource. So that if like so storage though is not a resource. We might have to make it a resource, though. I don't feel like we do. Okay, so a warehouse is actually a pretty good example. I was trying to think of other buildings that we could have this, but of something that's generating some non-tangible thing. So we could put in a bool that says it's like in production. How do we know it's in production? It's completed being built. So if it's completed being built, it should show something, but for the researchers thing, we need it to like do a double check where it sees, yeah, it's completed. If this research thing, we might have to just have like a thing if it equals this. What a pain in the ass. It's probably not really that difficult, but I'm like, I don't know, maybe it is. I'm looking through here to see if we can find work skill. We might be able to do it by work skill. What is the work skill for? It's engineering, I think. That's an interest. Its work skill is labor. We don't have a description in here. I don't know why we don't have a description in here. Are these all missing their descriptions? No, just that one. Oh wait, this is a description of its interest, not its. It's all right. I'm literally doing this is like the my streams are notoriously, I mean, to me, notoriously boring anyways, but today's even worse. I'm just like sitting here going for an hour and 15 minutes plus my big long break there. Okay, so I think we're just gonna have to do something dumb like is in production, because we have no way to know that it's in production. With warehouses, it's the status would, we can add another status. That's what we can do. So with our statuses, we currently have complete, under construction. We could do it with a status. Maybe this is the way we do it. Is we have it set as status. Because it is a status. I think this is the way we do it. I think we've come to a solution here. So complete, we would change to construction complete. Then we would have another one that would be like under production, and then we would have another one. We could leave it complete like that, but we would have another one that would be awaiting assignment or something. Awaiting player assignment. All right, so well, that's an A. It goes right there. Even though none, I feel like none is better at the bottom, so we'll do it like that. We'll have none, and then we'll have these other ones. Yes, I think this might work. Maybe. We might have to add another one in here. So then we go back to the switch that we have, And we can add in another switch or another thing here. We can add another case in. I think this might be the solution. Awaiting player assignment. And then we don't need that. I don't know what I'm doing. That's a pretty normal or pretty good statement here. So this is the default. So this is all going to be the same. Motherfucker, I just thought of another thing. Okay, so let's say it's built. We're going to have that progress bar. I wonder if we should match the progress bar there. We should. I need to take some fucking notes too, man. Match project progress bar in county improvements to research for research office. But luckily, what I'm hoping is that the struggles we're going through now will make life easier in the future as we add more things that do similar things. Okay, so yeah, make sure the warehouse actually does something. I mean, I guess we can build a warehouse and see what happens. We got the game running right now. Oh, except we got to research it first. Research me some warehouse. Basic storage. Assign. Close. See, that worked. That thing had the right thing on it. Christopher's doing some research. Basic research. Basic research. I don't know how much research. Primitive scouting is doing something. Researcher's office. It's not done. I thought we were done for some reason. We are done. Basic research, county improvement. Converted. Oh, I was like, why isn't it at the bottom? Then we'll build this. Wait, we'll look at this. Our resources are 500, 500. Then we'll go, we'll build this 500, 500. Then we'll do this 500, 500. We're gonna need to turn off. We don't need this extra shit here. Okay. Nope, that's a different thing. What happens when we have nothing? Do we start getting bugs when there's nothing? Nothing to research? I guess not. Is this thing done? This thing's done and there's 5 people working there? Okay, well that's a problem. And we didn't get anything. Yeah, we don't want people working there. So this is the reason why I decided not to have people work at the warehouse for this one is that it kind of fluctuates of where people work, and so your amount of storage would be flopping around all the time. For some reason, people can work at the converted warehouse. And I don't want it to flop around like that. We're going to say that whatever the warehouse doesn't need people to work there. Because it can really fuck you hardcore. The player might, you know, like just have like a week of no one working there, and then you have stockpile all this stuff and you would lose all this stuff, and then it immediately comes back. Like not even a week, a day. And then, you know, it would come back, you would lose all your stuff and it would come back. And so I don't want it to have that as a possibility. So we're not having people work there. I'm all over the place. Okay, so waiting a player assignment is going to have a special thing that happens. We're going to have to put it. We're going to have to do something here. It's going to be. We're kind of kicking this problem down the road, but whatever. It should be the same as completed for this stuff. So we'll put this in here. We're going to need another. I'm gonna put a note. Let's do another thing. This is getting so fucking complicated. So where this says like under construction, I think we should put another label here And we can put assign. So this is only the right now, only the research office is going to do this. So we're doing kind of like a lot of stuff for an one case scenario. Assign research. Assign researcher in research panel. And I want to have an alert at the top of the screen, but we don't have that yet. Phrase. Assign researcher in research. Fuck me, panel. Assign researcher in research panel, period. Generates research, period. All right. So that's a whole different ball game here that we're doing. I think we can get this to work though. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. And so this one, awaiting, we're gonna have to put a new under construction. Oh, god damn it. Private label. Assign researcher in panel. That's good enough. Then we'll go down to here. Assign show under construction label. It should have already been hidden, but once again, like I was talking a minute ago, let's just double fuck it. Double fuck it. That's the thing. That's what we're calling everything today. From now on, today, we're double fucking things. Okay. Come on. There we go. We need to go back up to here. We need this to go up to here. We need to go down to here. There we go. And okay, awaiting. I don't think awaiting. No, completed. It doesn't matter. I was going to say that I want to put this in a specific order, but I think awaiting player assignment at the bottom is actually better because it is going to be a very, it's not going to happen that often. All right. So let's see here. We have the completed. So there's going to be completed stuff. There's going to be under construction. So there's going to be a difference though. We're going to have another status that's completed without workers. So maybe complete we should rename to like producing. And then we have another status that's like producing without workers. So complete. But okay, so then let's think about this. There would be a day, and we could set this up. There would be a day where it can be completed, but it's like awaiting workers. I think we should have like a bunch of statuses here, and then we'll just deal with this. Awaiting player complete. And we can have a little notice that says like hiring or something. It's gonna be kind of painful, but we can get this to work. I think we're gonna have use like, I don't know, edge cases is what they call them. I guess we're gonna have edge cases where we're gonna manually have to assign shit. but I think it's the only way to do this. So we have a waiting player assignment, which is going to give us the one thing. We have a completed thing, which will, the work's completed. I'm trying to think. So if we change completed to hiring, is there a reason we would need to know that it's completed but not hiring? I think we should change this to hiring. We might have to make some major changes here. And then we should have producing, and then we should do producing without workers. We might be wasting our time. This might be a huge waste of time, but because we're gonna have to figure out how to like tell it that it's producing without workers. We could do max workers equals 0. If the max workers equals 0, it produces without workers. That's one way we could do it. Okay, so we have these different things now. And I think we should. I actually think we should have a label for hiring, now that I think about it. Let's duplicate this one. I don't know if we need it to be red, but then we'll just have a word hiring, and then we'll go word. Let's copy this just in case. And then let's save that. And let's go back to our script, our switch over here. This is not even the wrong script, or I mean on the right script. So we have hiring. We're gonna do a couple of cases here. Maybe we should just put these in alphabetical order. Let's just put these in alphabetical order. What was this other one we're doing? Where? How's it going? I'm doing all right. Struggling. Running in circles. Hiring, awaiting. We're going to need another one of those. We're going to need another one of those. Producing. One of those. Producing without workers. Another one of these. And I think that's, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a default. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a default. The default is none, I guess. Maybe we shouldn't have a default. I feel like default is the way to go, though. I feel like everyone says you gotta have a default, right? Why am I putting a comma at the end of this? We need one of these here. We need one of these here. We need a break. We need a break. We need another status. That just dawned on me. Okay, so after the player has assigned something, god damn, this is so complicated for one fucking label. We're gonna have I gotta ban this person, but we're gonna have one more. I think I got that. No, I don't know if you guys, can you guys see that? No, you guys can't see this person. Oh wait, yeah, you can. Report them. It's not a person, it's a bot. Let me do this real quick. Selling viewers. Report. Block. Ban. There we go. I need to go back over here. And some people will never change even if they acknowledge they're wrong. Yeah, you know, I think some people don't. There's no way that for some people to change. As I get older, I see the same. Like some people are just identical to when they were teenagers in their 20s. But I also think that there's like your brain has certain things built into it. But your mind is the powerful thing, you know. Uh, let's see here. Producing without workers, under construction, awaiting player assignment. So then we need another one that is like researching. I can't think of another. A WWE fan. You're talking about like the wrestling thing? And no. I actually don't really. That's one of the things that I can't really understand is the wrestling thing. You know, and I actually was on the bus once, and there was two dudes talking about it, and they were so passionate about the wrestling thing. The I don't know which wrestling league or whatever it's called. I'm not a big sports guy, but that's even farther outside of sports. Uh, they like knew everything about every single wrestler and stuff. It was interesting. So I think, how about you? Are you a fan of, and are we talking about the wrestling thing? Um, I think we're going to have some sort of researching thing here. I think that's the only way I can think of doing. Those dudes, the two dudes that I was talking about on the bus, were having such a great time. I don't think they knew each other, and they just happened. Like one of them probably had like a wrestling shirt on or something. They were having such a great time talking about it, though. It was shocking. Like not shocking where I was like, "Ooh, fuck you." It was just like, "Whoa, dude, those guys are having." They love what they're talking about over there. And you know, like I said, I'm not a big sports guy. I think sports, like organized, massive sports, are very strange. Um, Especially like when people like wear the uniforms and the jerseys, you know, and like the whole thing is very strange to me. All right, this is in alphabetical order. I think we're going to have a special, and we're going to have to figure out a way to set these cases. It's going to be kind of a pain, but I think it's the only way. I can't think of a better way to do this. And I think I was just sitting there stuck on how to do the next part. And I think this is going to have to be, we might have to add a bunch of these. Researching. Break. Okay. Now we got to go through and make sure that they look right, which wasn't really that bad. Hiring. I just added in a hiring thing, so we need to add that. Assign researcher and panel. Maybe we don't need that, but I think we're going to do... Let's put hiring above, though. Private. Label. Hiring. Label. Assign researcher in panel label. Label. I went to my friend was like, dude, like he was like, there's a wrestling match at this auto body shop today. Do you want to go check it out? And I went and watched it, and it was like, I don't even know how they, tier in wrestling. I don't know how they like set up the tiers of that. but it was like the lowest tier, like the people who are just trying to get in it. There's like 10 people hanging out. They had set up like a rough uh, stage. I'm gonna call it. I don't know, a boxing thing. It had the ropes and all that, and the there was I think four of them total, like two different matches, and very little like cheering. It seemed like it was very depressing. The wrestlers seemed depressed because they had nobody watching. They're behind an automotive place. I think there's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they like go to a similar thing. But it was depressing, but also like kind of insane, and they were kind of hurting each other because they were new. It was very bizarre. Okay, so we got to put this in here. And there was I used to work with this lady, and her boyfriend wanted to get into MMA, and he was like, did not look like he was going to last one match in MMA. And MMA also, I don't understand, like, why people are into that. Okay, so we got hiring, we got assign, we got these things set up. Let's go down the list here, and let's start with the default. The default is going to always be that, over here. I'm waving. It's over here. It's over here on the right. So the default is this. So the default should have progress bar, hide. Well, I'm going to move this to my other monitor so I can kind of compare, look at one. I'm going to try to not cover up all of chat. I guess I don't really have a choice. Can I make this smaller and be able to see it? Not really. I can make it bigger. I can make it squish. This is my scroll. Oh, look, my scroll thing works even though it's all squished. I'll put this over here. I still can't really see chat though. A little bit. I can see like two lines of it. All right. So progress bar off. Prioritize box off. Workers panel off. Construction panel is on. That's good. Goods produced and input. Their input resources and goods. We're not going to be able to use default anymore. This is going to be kind of shit. This is going to be more of a pain than I thought. So what did the history of it say? Of the wrestling? I don't think this is going to work after all. Because this is the thing. Once again, we need to distinguish. Whoa. We need to distinguish. See, right here where the goods produced, we need to have a status where it produces non-tangible goods. Maybe we don't have a none status. What does it look like over here? Status is none. Man, I cannot believe what a pain this is. We'll do this. We'll get rid of none. For one line, I guess I could just not do what I wanted to do. But I think it's really going to be necessary because you're going to be looking at the county improvement and it's going to be a research office. You're going to see that one person's working there and you're just going to wonder what the fuck's going on. Let's think this through one more time. I know I've thought it through 35 times. So we go on this. It's not built yet. It doesn't produce any of this stuff. We need it to say that it's producing and we got that to work with that if-then thing right here. So we want it to say that it produces whatever, the non-tangible good. And we can do that with an if-then statement with that string. But we also could set it as a status. So at the beginning, the default set status is none currently. That means we would have to put in, we're not looking at the right thing, but it's still, none is still the, the default status. Stop this, get this out of here. Get out of there. None is the default status. But even in this part, we need this to have a different, which we could do in none if we put the, so let's do this. I know I'm going in circles still. In this panel, let's only work on, let's ignore everything else except for the default. And then once we make the default work how we want it, and none, we'll leave none in there, and we might have to go through and fuck with those statuses again. Changing the statuses is going to break a bunch of shit, and we've already broken it. Update output goods. Let's cut this out of here, and let's put it in default. So this is going to adjust. This is the default. This is going to adjust this. Currently only. And then I think everything else should be okay. Let's look at our list some more. I'm going to move this back over here. Remnants for construction box, adjust builders. Yeah, under construction label, hide, remove improvement button, hide. I think this is going to be okay. Let's test it. There's going to be some stuff that's just wildly broken, but that's okay. Because we'll get to those. Might as well make this panel look good now, and then, like I was saying, hopefully it will not look good. Okay, so we need to have it say, we need to hide these two things. So in the default, we're going to hiring, label, hide, and we can re-import this thing over here. I guess we gotta save this, and I should just translate this stuff while I'm here. Did I make another one? Did I make another one? No. And then we'll translate this. I'm trying to do all sorts of weird things that I've never tried to do before. Hiring with a period? Probably not, actually. Okay. I keep trying to drag the window around. I don't know why. All right, let's close this thing. Let's go back to here. Let's re-import this. Okay. Hiring, label, hide. What was the other thing? It was assign researchers. Hide that. Let's rerun this. And then we'll make sure that whatever. That whatever. The none is working. So we go to here. We have construct. We have our construction cost. We have our input goods. This is a Fisher's shed. It will have goods produced. it produces goods. You know, I was just thinking that one thing we could do is like have researchers research as a good. Man, another one of these guys? Detached Thunder Boss? Uh, let me get rid of the Detached Thunder Boss. Report. Spam bots. Viewers. Blocking. Banning. Bunch of these are like, they must do it. It's when I stream, they must make a bunch of them all at once. Of like have the bots go through and they like refresh. You know, like the person probably doesn't check it every day. They're bots that are running. They check like once a week or something. And then they go through and they update their bots. And because these are all 17 hours old, the this viewer seller thing. And I have it so that on both, like if I block it on this one, it blocks it on my other channel too. So what we're doing? Researcher's office. Goods produced. It shows nothing. Which actually is not what we want. So, in goods produced, non-tangible goods not being produced. So we changed that one, and I don't know if I updated in research, in our research thing here. Sorry, in our county improvement, non-tangible goods. I put a thing in there. We can reopen this and copy it over. We just needed to re-import it temporarily. And then, of course, this is not being produced. It goes in there. And then the warehouse has its own one of these. Did I get the right one? I did. And then this goes in here. And then I'm thinking, let's run this again. Double check. Where we at? Garden, Fishers, Lumberjack. Goods produced. It has a blank in here still. It should. I wonder if it's because this is open. We do have something in here. It should say like will generate non-tangible not produced. Let's double check to make sure I put it in the right thing because that does happen. Improvements, non-tangible not producing research. Warehouse, that is working. I'm wondering if it's having a problem because I opened this thing up again. I don't feel like it should. Let's double check our code. Non-tangible production label. We show it. We hide the output grid. That's happening. This is not saying the right thing though. It's showing nothing. Let's look at our remote. Because this it has a gap like there's something in here. So we can check our remote though. And it's way down here. Possible buildings. Panel. I don't actually know which panel it is. We could rename the panels when we generate them to make our lives easier for this. Output grid. Goods produced title. Non-tangible. Non-tangible goods produced is blank. Oh, did I not link together these things? Whoops. I may have like renamed something or not put it in here. No, it looks like it's all linked. Let's make sure here. This is going to be up here-ish. Non-tangible production label. The label should be the same. The label should be the same, but the what's put in there should be different. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong thing. Research office. No, I'm not. Goods produced, nothing. It is, well, I don't know if we're in the research office on this. Let's look at our title. This is the Improvement Researcher's Office. So this is right. We might have like a we're in the wrong spot here. A carrier return. It's none of those things. Where am I? Where's my stuff? Input. Non-tangible. Oh. Non-tangible goods produced title. Yeah, this is right. What is this? We know that this is the, yeah, so we're in the researchers thing. What does this say? Output grid is turned off. Phrase goods produced. Goods produced title. Non-tangible goods. It has nothing in here. Non-tangible, it's acting like that. Oh. Twice in one day, we got screwed by this thing. Non-tangible not being produced. Non-tangible goods being produced twice in one day. At least it's not like, at least now I'm getting used to that thing's gonna screw me over. And county improvement generates research. Goods produced generates research. Oh, we got a bug though. Oh, it's that one that I don't know why it happens occasionally. It doesn't seem to affect anything. So what I'm thinking is maybe we put a good of research. Instead of going through all of this pain in my ass, we always have goods, you know, they're resources like storage. It would be a county research storage and a county resource research. And then it would just say research there. We could still do the phrase assign researcher, but we also could just have an alert for that. So if we did a county resource for each one of those, let's go back to the game here. We'd have to somehow tell them not to show up in here though. Which isn't the end of the world because I think we do a count. Oh, we do a count. It would be kind of a pain, but we can do it. Man, figuring the best way to do it is... So we have... So we go... So we have this. We're going to have like an if then with it where we check its status in here. No, we don't. We can have this the default. Well, we would still need to have this. Man. I don't know if I don't know if I just had an idea that's unrelated to this. Uh, Someone was saying ban a specific word for these guys, and I was like, wait, they always have this URL in here. I could just ban this URL from posting on my thing. And then, like, if they, I'm gonna ban that URL. Maybe I'll do it when I get back from break, since I'm totally useless today. I have accomplished nothing. Don't know what the fuck's going on. I have I don't, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go take a quick break, and then I will be back in less than 5 minutes. This time for real, 5 minutes. I gotta stop my music that you guys can't hear, and then hopefully we'll accomplish. Hopefully my brain will start warmed up. It's been 2 hours. Jesus Christ, my brain better be I can't even say warmed up. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Uh, Let me turn on my break timer. I was outside having a cigarette and reading Reddit, as I do when I take my. I sometimes think about what I'm programming and sometimes don't. But I'm reading in the millennial subreddit. They're complaining about Generation Z people being stupid and lazy, and it's funny because I'm Generation X, and all Generation X, well, boomers more. Generation X people don't really complain about it as much, though some do, but not as much. Complain about millennials being stupid and lazy, and it's kind of funny to me that it's always the same thing. It's always young people are stupid and lazy, and it's like, yeah, that's not really true. Some people are stupid and lazy, and some, regardless of their generation. I'm gonna go into Twitch here, and I'm gonna see if I can. I'm already in Twitch over on another thing. See, my brain's not working. My brain's not up to par today. We should just yammer about something. Uh, let's see. Community, activity, content. Here we go. Content. No, it's not. Moderation, monetization, settings, moderation, block terms and phrases. Enter a term or phrase. I would like to enter this phrase and add term to blocked terms. Privacy, public. Privacy, private. I don't know what that means. Okay, there we go. Let's see if that does anything exciting, and then we'll just start blocking like crazy. My music is not on. My music you guys can't hear. All right, so I guess we got to work on this, right? There's no, there's no, um, there's no choice. I should have probably thought about this outside instead of looking at Reddit. Generates research. That works. I gotta adjust my music already. I can't hear it. I'm just gonna skip it. I still can't understand how the volumes are so wildly different between songs. We'll listen to whatever this is here that you guys can't hear. Okay. Now it's way too fucking loud. Of course it is. And OBS is back up and we're good to go. What an exciting stream I'm doing today. Watch me play with my music on a monitor you guys can't see. I'll just sit here and play with my beard. I need to shave. I've gotten to the stage of bearddom where it starts going into my mouth and it's itchy all the time. I saw a guy with a big bushy beard at the coffee shop and he was just itching like mad, and I was like, dude, that's the problem with beards, is they itch like a motherfucker. All right, let's figure this out. I think statuses is probably the best way to do it. We have a status here: goods produced generates research. Well, now I'm thinking maybe we should put the county resource, and it generates county resources. Is there some way we would have to look how we generate? We have perishable, and then we have a failure rate. How do we generate these resources in our, we can close this thing. And we, over here, I think I opened this earlier. So it goes through, generate storage boxes. What is this on? On ready? Really? This is strange, it says. That's my past self. Okay, so on visibility change is what I was actually thinking we would get there. County name goes up there. Assign resources to storage boxes. So it just goes through all of them and it assigns them. It doesn't care about if they're perishable or not. I think I got rid of that. Count available storage units. The problem is if we put, where's it pulling this shit from? I think it's pulling it from its all resources. Yeah. And we can't do this. We can't fuck with this until that the Godot gets updated. I guess we could write that other code, the temporary code. But I'm still thinking maybe we just say goods produce research, goods produce storage, and we put them in there. That would solve like part of the problem. And then we don't put them in all resources. So up here, where I have these enums, or whatever, they're not enums, they're arrays. So we don't put them in here. So it would pull, so if we don't put those items in there, it wouldn't pull them for like storage and stuff. It would just pull them. We could just manually put them in there as a county resource, and it would solve part of the problem. Part of the problem would be solved. We just don't put them in there. We have these two resources. When we get to the part where we're doing the production thing, it just says research. And that would be our county resource, would be a research thing. Man, why is this such a pain in my ass? I'm beginning to think it's not my brain that's the problem. It's just that it really is a pain in the ass because there are so many different options. Let's try to do it this way. I mean, I only got 50 minutes left. Let's see if I can accomplish anything today. It's like, when you go into work and you just can't get anything done and you don't want to do anything. That's what's happening today. So we got this going. It'll say generates research. If we're in the right script here, I think this is all right. I see this looks all good. Let's do this though. Let's go back to our game here, our things, and let's go to converted warehouse. And there should be a checkbox on here. No, that's not here. It's under our research. And we can tell it to research at start. So it will already be researched when we do this, and we can double check our list over here. I gotta stop this song, it's awful. The Damned is one of my, I know you guys can't hear my music. The Damned is one of my favorite bands, but their newest album is pretty bad, as you expect. So we go over to here. We'll generate extra storage, some number. Okay, so that works. We'll generate research. So let's do this. Then we go under construction. And then the goods produced pops up. And we have all these things. Let's go back and under construction. We're going to put this over here so we can see. I can see what I need to see. We want the progress. We want the bar construction button we're hiding. I don't know why this is all the way at the top though. The construct button's way down here. Prioritize button we want. Workers panel. We want to hide that. Construct panel container. This is like the cost and shit of the construction. We want that. Remnants for construction checkbox. We want that. Adjust max workers. We want that. Under construction label. We want that. construct button, we're hiding that. We want to then, let's actually put this at the bottom right now so we can compare it to our default. And we can just copy and paste shit from our default in here. Check for, I don't remember what this is. Check for construction resources. Construct. Oh, yeah. We don't want this. So this makes it so that the button disappears, or if there's enough, if you have enough resources to build the thing. But we're hiding that because it's already been built. So we want this hiring and assign researcher and panel. This needs to be hidden. And it needs to be like right here because it's above it. So those three things will all be hidden. Actually, this needs to be down here. So we'll show that. And then goods produced, we need to have it say this one. That's probably not in the right spot. We want that to be under workers container construction panel. It needs to go here. And we'll move this up to check for construction resources. I think that should be at the bottom. And I think I put that under workers. Yep. Okay. So this is going to do the same thing when it's under construction. Let's run this again and then I can show you what I don't know why it keeps teleporting. This is a the teleportation issue is new. Maybe it was some Windows update. Let's hit play here. Some days you just can't get shit done. I have a curse where I'm always on time, and I have to be somewhere on Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, at like the crack of dawn, and I'm already worried about it because I just have to always be on time. I'm already worried about it. All right, this is still looking good. We can construct here. We'll generate extra storage, some number. This is wrong. Oh, no. This is right. It just looks weird because this has this here now. It will tell us what we're going to build eventually. Okay. And this says under construction, and we can adjust the numbers and all that. This all looks good. So then let's let this get built. And I don't know how much I have. I should have done that construction progress today instead of this fucking garbage. Because then I can tell how far along we are. Yeah, we need to get rid of this crap too because it just fills up this log. I can't tell when shit's done. It's still under construction, huh? How long until you're gonna be done? Okay. How much construction did I put on this goddamn thing? Or is it broken? Let's see. What are we building here? This is a converted warehouse, right? Yeah, it is really hard to see that title. We need to fix that. It's driving me crazy. I programmed it and it's hard for me to see it. Converted warehouse. Amount of construction is 500. Okay. So kind of a lot. I think we were testing something else. Oh, this isn't at the bottom either. That fucking thing. I thought I hadn't fixed that. We're not getting any errors. I think they're working on it. It showed 5 people were working there. Completed warehouse. Okay. So on this is where it's going to get kind of confusing. We should have also built a research thing. Well, let's look at what we got so far. So produce is needed is there. We can adjust the maximum workers, which is 0. So that's our first issue is we don't have any workers. So how do we tell it? Okay, so this one shouldn't be that bad. So what is this thing's status at this point? This thing's status after it's been constructions, it's going to be this hiring one. So first things first is we need to adjust its status because its status isn't going to be hiring because it's not hiring because there's no people that work at the fucking warehouse. We've already talked about this. So when it's being constructed, we're going to go to county, end of day stuff. We're at end of day already. Check for healing, decide work day over for population. Occasional needs. Check if county improvements were done. Is this what we're doing? List of county completed improvements. This is a list. We clear the list. We look for if the county improvement is done, make sure everyone working on it is idle. Set the current work to idle. So this is idling out. Didn't I change how this works? I thought I changed how this worked. Maybe I switched it back. I remember I was trying to make this work a specific way and it didn't work how I wanted it to work. Check to only print the event log of the player's county improvements. County improvement name has been completed. Population, we clear the list. Set the county improvement to complete. Okay, so then the status is going to be hiring, but this is where we fix this. I'm glad I made this a little method. If county, are we in county improvement? We are. If max workers is greater than 0, we make it hiring. Else, we're going to make it something else. What? It's going to be producing without workers. So this first, the warehouse, it's going to go straight into producing without workers. Status equals all enums county improvement producing without workers. Okay, so bam, we're going to have that, which is going to kick in this next thing though, which is this thing we don't have anything for yet. So awaiting player assignment. I just copied and pasted that shit. So let's take the under construction. Actually, let's take the default and we'll edit the default to what we need. And update output goods, I think, is what we're going to want to fuck with here. We can just, we can make 2 of these. Let's just make 2 of these. Update output goods. Update output goods. We'll call this not producing. And then we'll cut this out of here. And then, okay, so let's go back and look at this because some of these are going to be obviously turned on and turned off. Hiring is off. Assign researcher label is going to be off. Progress. I think this is wrong. This is the one we haven't, this is the prioritizes here, but we need the, I guess we haven't gotten to that part. Yeah, what the fuck, man? My computer is very touchy about the moving between monitors today. I did restart it. I didn't have any upgrades. Progress title bar. That's used for construction. But we are going to want this to show... and we are going to want... So we are going to want some... if it's at 100%, it's just going to be like plopping them out every turn, a certain number every turn. Prioritize button, or prioritize, we want that. Workers panel, we want that. I guess I should have copied the producing without workers. I should have copied hiring. I have it hiding though. I guess in hiring it will be hiding actually. What did I just show? Construction panel. I think we want this to be hidden. Work hide. We want this to be shown actually. Prioritize workers panel. No, we don't. This is producing without workers, so we're going to hide this. We're going to remnants for construction. We're going to hide. Adjust max builders hide. Under construction hide. Remove improvement button show. Hiring label hide, but it should be up there. Assign researchers hide. Check for construction resources. We don't need that. Okay, so then we need one more thing here. We're going to go update output goods not producing. We're going to need private void update output goods producing. And we're going to say if this is tangible, whatever. And then we're going to go, we're actually going to just make this. This is the same. We can just copy this whole thing. We can copy this whole thing. Output grid, we're going to show if this is nothing or non-tangible production. We're going to hide that. We're going to hide the grid. We're going to say this, though. We're going to say non-tangible produced goods. And then we're going to show that thing. This is still going to get kind of complicated because we're only working with the warehouse. All right, so I think we need to run it and check. Let's make it so that the construction's not so expensive. Let's go with like 50. So we don't have to wait so long. I think I set it to 500 for some other test. None of these numbers are like real. We're gonna fuck with those numbers later. Right now they're just all test numbers. Everything. Research is too quick, builds too quick. We're gonna construct you. Let's double check this. Yes, we're gonna construct you. That looks good to me. We have the construction progress. We have the prioritize button because we want to be able to prioritize construction. We'll generate extra storage number, some number, because we're going to put a number in there. I just don't know what the number is. We'll generate extra input goods. And we might have, like right now, there won't be any input goods, but that's for the other thing that we're waiting on Godot. Construction costs, we want that. User remnants, we want that. Max builders, we want that. It's under construction. Looks great. We can close this. We can bump time. We can wait. We can wait some more. Converted has been completed. Okay, so construction progress is wrong. We want the construction progress title to say production progress or something. This is wrong too. I wonder what its status is. This is the converted warehouse. I'm wondering if we got the wrong status. Producing without workers. Maybe we don't want the progress bar at the top. The titles need to be changed. I'm going to put some notes in here. This needs to be changed to whatever. Production. Whatever. Progress. Progress bar should be there. Prioritize box, yes. Let's look. If it got the wrong status, if it went to hiring, it would have hid these bars. So I think it's getting the right status. Oh, I didn't put the thing in there. That's the problem. I didn't put the thing in there. So under here, we want this to be under construction label hide, adjust hide, remnants for construction hide, workers panel. This is going to be workers panel hide. I think it's here. Update output goods producing. That's a little bit confusing. That name is a little confusing, but okay. Whoops. I tried to save it. That's what just happened right there. I hit Control S. Okay. Back to this. Back to this. Restart. 50 is fine. We can wait a couple of days for shit to get built. Not that big of a deal. Played a little bit of the new CK3 update. The adventure part is pretty boring. I'm confused because everyone is saying it's the best thing ever, and it's kind of boring. Whoops, I said speed it up, then I immediately hit pause. And then I played a tiny bit of the whatchamacallit. Improvement non-tangible production warehouse. We got it, except I have the wrong thing in here. I changed what this was called. Produced. And then I did the, we probably got to do the same thing on the warehouse. Non-tangible produced warehouse. Non-tangible produced, not produced. I think we got that right. Produced, not produced. Okay, but besides that, we got, whoops. So that's saying the right thing, I think. And then we have our input resources, which we'll fuck with later. Okay. I think that this is working right. But let's go and build our researcher's office. And what do we got here? So we have our construction progress, our prioritize, generates research, that's right. Our input things we're going to fuck with later. Max builders under construction. That looks all great. Let's speed this up. And it's been completed. So where is this? This is alphabetized. Okay. So this is where it gets a little sketchy. Produce is needed. All right, so let's move this over here and go through the next. Well, we got to do a thing here. Back to that, I'm so glad I made this a method. Thank you, everyone in chat, for always asking, why isn't that a method? That's a common thing I heard in the good old days. Where the fuck is that method? All right. Set county improvement complete. So we have two. We say if it has more than a worker, if there's more than one or zero max workers, it sets it to hiring. But it actually, that's not the case in this particular thing. So how do we indicate? So we need to be able to tell. And we can't do it with goods produced because we don't have a way to test that right now. So we need to have a way to tell that this is some sort of research item, that it's not going to be produce anything, but we can't do it with goods produced right now because the goods produced is not something we can use because of the way we're waiting for the Godot thing. I'm staring over to this side because that's where, god damn it, why is this thing doing this today? It just keeps, when my mouse hits the moving from the other monitor, it like teleports away back to it. It's sort of back to its original spot. So it actually should have went to hiring briefly for a very limited amount of time. It should have went to hiring. And then they work there. How are we going to figure this out without? So goods produced, the idea would be that if the goods produced was empty, that's not really going to help us. So it actually needs to go to hiring, though, briefly. And this one, it's already hired, so we didn't get it in the time period of between 1 a.m. and the next day. 1 a.m. and 1 a.m. We didn't look at it quick enough. Maybe hiring isn't, that status isn't necessary. Maybe we go to the next status of producing. But that's not our current problem. Let's worry about that. I'm going to put a note in so I don't forget here. Maybe we don't do the hiring status. Instead, we just do producing. I think that's probably what we'll do. It's only like a day. Who gives a shit about the hiring? And that's it. We could easily fix that too. So how do we know that it's researching to give it the correct assignment, the correct status? So when it's got a person on it, it doesn't know. It doesn't know that it's researching at this point, even with the person assigned, because the person doesn't currently know that they're researching, and they just become available over here to research. So they should be over here. Jennifer Lopez. What? That's the hero. There should be. Oh, maybe they don't show up for another day. What time is it? 8 a.m. Let's see. No, we got a problem here. There's some problem with the person's working there. I think it's probably the status was fucked up. So we'll add this in here too. Person working at research office isn't showing up in research assignment list. Assignment list. So we'll go over to here. And back up to the top. But regardless, we don't know. They don't know that they're researching unless they're researching. So there's no way for us to tell that this is a research office. There's no way. I'm trying to think of like if we put goods produced, we could put a research as goods produced. Once again though, we're gonna have to we can't fix that until the Godot thing comes in. But we could put a good in that's called research, and then like say if the goods produced is research, we can assign that. We might have to come back to this because it's really that's gonna hold up this decision. I was looking at this title. This title doesn't look very good. And we could work on like prioritize tomorrow instead of working on this. Because prioritize is going to have is going to matter for other things, like where the work comes from or how quickly, you know, the construction gets added. Yeah, so we'll have like a prioritize thing that assigns everyone at the top. So we can work on that tomorrow. Instead of this, we could search to see if the new version of Godot is out. I already did it this morning, but let's look. It's not. I want Dev 3. 26, 10th. It's been 18 days. I feel like it should be 18? Yeah, 18 days. Any day now. I wonder if our building C#, what'd that say? Building is broken. What does this say? It says it's still open. Oh, here's my post. This says it's closed. It's closed. I was able to reproduce this, but the issue is now fixed in master. I agree with it is most certainly related. I closed the issue since it's now working in master. Uh-oh. I wonder how difficult it is to build the master. How to build Godot. Building from source. Very easy to build. Godot uses the sconce build set, whatever the fuck that is. After the initial setup, compiling the engine. What's the initial setup? What's the initial setup? After. So this is one of the weirdnesses. So this is like, I always complain about this. I was trying to figure out how to do some nav mesh stuff with the tile map, where the tile map have navigation, blah blah blah. And I noticed that it was really obvious that this stuff was written by a developer, and it made it very confusing. And here's a really good example. And it said after initial setup compiling. Is this the initial setup? Where's the initial setup? Where, like, so this should have a link. This should be linked to something else. Or it should, you know, like, it's like, well, you know, because this doesn't say that this is the initial setup. And there's a lot of this stuff is, I don't care why it does. Like, all I want is a step-by-step thing of how exactly you do it. Compiling for Windows. This is a step-by-step. I have that. If you have Scoop installed, you can easily... Oh, Min GW, really? Ming... Python... Yeah, I don't want to build it. I was just curious because I don't want to. I'm obviously not very useful today. I'm not doing a very good job. Let's push this code and then call it a day. This is what we'll do. any second. Hopefully it will be fixed. They'll release the new Godot. I know. What did we do today? Fucked around in circles. That's what we did today. We're going to commit that. We're going to push it. We're going to close this thing. We're going to close this thing. And we pushed that. And I think I'm all set for today. Thank you guys for joining me. I will talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to accomplish something, I hope. I swear to God we are. But I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day.